what we need to do, we may have to go and manually delete our let's go home. Manually delete some virtual machines. So having clicked Ctrl S, let's see what Terraform will give us. Let's see. It runs on the Linux VM too. Ctrl S. It's public IP also. Depends on the phone, depends on the subnet, depends on the virtual network. Depends on the virtual network. Also depends on the Linux VM, depends on the app group as well. Okay, I've stated this before. Okay. Depends on the network interface. Ctrl S. beg, me and this nonsense kind of thinking, I beg. It finally worked. So it has finished creating our Linux virtual machine. It has created our Linux virtual machine. Go back to resource groups. Maybe upload all of this into this thing. In cost, I was asking. Let me refresh all this. So just our Linux virtual machine is here. Okay, so I think this is okay until this time. Now go on to the next task. So I'll modify this virtual machine to be using SSH key to authenticate. Let's go back to our Terraform configuration file. Okay, so let's try to run this configuration with Terraform. Terraform file. Okay, so we have initial. Okay, so let's troubleshoot this. For this web app service, Azure Web App service. So what we are going to do now, for our deployment, we click on Web Apps here. So you see Web Apps, create a web app application. You click on create. Okay, so I have a little issue. Okay, so let's create a web application. The same resource group of maximal. No, actually cloud zone is. Say name of this and say demo matic. Nene matics pets. Okay, for publishing we should allow it as a code, or we can do it in a container, but let's do publishing it as a code. For our runtime stack we can choose a .NET, PHP, Python, or let's use .NET. See .NET 9, make sure it is Linux. For a region you can make sure it is in okay, let's try .NET 6. .NET 6 in North Europe. You can deploy it in Linux, so we can also deploy it in Windows. Now for our web application, we're creating a new web application. We're creating a new pricing plan with our app service plan for the deployment. For our app service plans here. Also, we can choose any of the plans. So we go for the free plan, then deploy with your app. You can deploy our database. This is your runtime Azure card. You can deploy a database. I will not enable continuous deployment. Enable authorization, click on networking, disable public access, enable public access actually. The monitoring, for performance monitoring, you can secure that as well. You can enable that. Enable the vendor for the app service as well. Then click on to tags. Then say, and you can add a tag for the CCG environment, then production. Then click next. And then we click on create. So this will initialize the deployment of our Azure Web Apps service. So wait until it's complete. So this will take some time, so wait until it's complete. Doing what we are doing, let's go back to, we are in our Azure Web App, our Web App service. Oh, she loves me. So, well, for that, well, being broke is worse than that problem, I swear. I don't want to be broke at all. So this is our Nene Matixpert for our Matixpert web application. So we have our default domain here for our web application, and in the status it is running. So our app service plan, the free plan, is running. So if you open this and then click here, you see that the app service plan is running, the virtual machine for it. So on it, that is all that is left is just to upload our code. You can publish the code here. We can do our quick start here. So if you click on the deployment, it should be a straightforward process to deploy our code. You can use containers to deploy it, any means that we want. That we need to deploy for our web application. So we have our development tools, set up our APIs, monitoring. App service plan. We can even change up our app service plan as well. Now let's try to do this with our Terraform. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to deploy, stop the web app.
This. I want you right now take a picture of yourself 25 years from now.
Okay, so we have our deployments. So we're going to try to do this with listen, let's go ahead and delete. We're going to delete our app service plan. Or should we delete first? Let me see. No, let me go back here. It's here. Okay, what resource? Let's check our resource groups so that we can know which resource has this. Let's check Cloud Zone Ace. Okay, so this is here. This is okay here. Okay, you can still go ahead and deploy another web application, another resource group. So let's go to our app service plan here. Under app service plan, our app service plan here. Hello everyone, hope you can all hear me. We'll be rounding up with our documentations very soon. Let's open a new terminal and deploy this Azure Web App service. Let's also go to our Azure Portal on our Azure tenant. I'm sure I have 9 days left on this subscription. Okay. While this is going through, we go home to access our resource groups. Hopefully no errors.